In this lecture, we are going to demonstrate how to implement CSS in our HTML page. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and Cascading Style Sheets give style to each of your HTML elements. So I've created a css.html page, which I have open right here. I went to my task.json, and I changed the parameter of the arguments to run css.html as my main page, so that when I run this from Visual Studio Code, I'll press Ctrl-Shift-B, and I will have my paragraph, my two H1 tags, and my external styling right there. So now that we've showed you this and we've set it up, I'm going to show you the three different ways to implement CSS in your web page. You have inline styling, and I've created comments right here so that you know where they're located, internal styling, and external styling. So the first one, let's implement inline styling. So how do you do this? The first thing that you do is you add an attribute of style. Once I do that, I'm just going to create two CSS properties, very simple. Font size. And on the font size, I'm going to give it 25 pixels. So I want you to look at this right here for inline styling. I'm going to expand this a little bit. I want you to see how big it will get. So now it's gotten larger in size. So this is inline styling. We're adding the property to the specific HTML element. Let's put one more. And let's make the color red. So now that we have a font size of 25 pixels and we have a color of red, this has changed the style of this paragraph text. So this is how we do inline styling. It's not very efficient to do it this way, but it is an option. So now that we've done our inline styling, let's go to internal styling. So with internal styling, you're creating an HTML tag with style and a closing tag. Now remember, this style tag does not have to be implemented in the header tag. I just decided to place it there. You could put this style tag right before the body tag ends, and it will be fine. But in this case, I want to load it within the head tag. So now, I want to select my H1. So how do I do that? I type H1, open and close parentheses. So my CSS properties are going to go right here for whatever element that I am selecting right here. So now that I'm selecting the H1, I'm going to put a color of green and a font size 45 pixels. Now I want you to look at this. You see these two elements? They changed in color green and the font size to 45 pixels. Now you can already see the benefits of doing internal styling versus inline styling. And one of them is performance and efficiency. Now I can select all of my H1 tags and make them green and a certain size. With inline styling, I have to go to every specific element on that page and keep repeating it. Not very efficient, and it takes a lot of time to do inline styling. So always you should prefer internal styling to inline styling. Now the one that I recommend when you're doing large projects, and it's what you should do as the basis of all your CSS, is doing external styling, which we have right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a folder right here, and we're going to call it CSS, and then we're going to drag that out of Visual Studio Code, and then let's put in CSS, let's put a new file, and let's put external.css. So now we have this external.css. We're going to go to our css.html, and we're going to link this document to this web page. So let's go under our style tag right here, and let's put link, and let's put rel as the attribute, and we're going to put style sheet, and we're going to put ahref. Don't worry if you don't know all of this, just know I'm just teaching you how to link this to this HTML page. We'll go in further depth later. And from there, let's type the path to external.css. So we're going to go to the folder CSS external.css. Close it, put a backslash. Let's see this. It takes us to the page. That's one way to check it, is that you can hold down Control and press click, and it will take you to that specific page. If it doesn't work, it'll give you an error, but in this case, we went to that page. So now, let's go to the page, and let's select this item right here. So how do we do that? It's an H2 tag. So let's go H2. Same thing that you did with internal styling. Select it the same way. Let's put a color blue. Refresh this. Did not refresh. So let's save it. It's still not working, so let's see what we're doing wrong here. We have everything set there. It's going to the external style sheet. Okay, I put blues, as you can see. It doesn't recognize that. So that's a human error. There we go. Now that we have external styling set, let's go back to our page. Well, before we go back to our page, let's add one more. Let's go to font size. And let's set it to 45 pixels. Let's look at this. And as you can see, we have the CSS property of color blue and the font size of 45 pixels. And why this is preferred over everything is that you can just link those custom styles to any page. The downfall of inline styling is that you have to add it to every element that you want that style. The downfall of internal styling is it's only on that specific page and you still have to replicate it. With external styling, you can just link your CSS to whatever HTML page you want. This is the best way to do all of your CSS implementations. I want to thank you for joining me in this lecture. Have a nice day.